This season, The Shot is going international. Out of the thousands who applied, 7 Canadian and 7 American recording artists have been chosen to represent their country in North America's most intense virtual songwriting competition. Only 8 of these songwriters will make it to the solo rounds to showcase their own original music, and only 1 can be crowned the winner. Will it be a Canadian or an American that takes the top prize? 14 artists, 11 days, 1 amazing song. This is The Shot, Canada versus the USA. Hello, artists, and congratulations on making it to our top 4.
Woo!
Yes. We only have 1 more task to get to before our finale. Crazy.
Are you ready to hear what's in store for this next task?
Yes.
Well, the good news is you don't have to listen to me tell you.
I am pleased to pass it over to Marie Cassidy to introduce this task.
Hey everyone, I'm Marie Cassidy. I'm the station manager here at Indie 1015 in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. You can check us out on the FM dial in Hamilton at 101.5 or online at indie1015.ca. For this week's task, we are looking for you to write and record a catchy alternative rock song that could potentially be played on the radio. There are no rules as to what your song is about, only that it's a clean radio edit. Looking forward to hearing what you come up with. Good luck.
Joining myself and Marie Cassidy to judge this task will be resident judges. Everybody's favorite, Josh Simons.
Oh.
And making her return, Ari Berger.
Artists, are you ready?
Yeah. Hey.
All right, let's do this. Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank
Good luck,
you.
everyone.
Good afternoon, judges. It is our second to last episode of the season. Today we're going to be hearing our top 4, Justin, Megan, Tasha, and Kevin, and the songs they have prepared for this week's task, which is an indie radio ready song that must be clean and alternative rock. We're going to be heading into the final. Today we're going to end the episode with our top 3 who will be vying for the title, the winner of The Shot, Canada versus the USA. Megan is coming in first. She's here. Let's have her. Megan, top 4. How do you feel?
I feel so lucky. I feel very blessed. I feel like I've learned a lot about myself, about my writing, and I'm just so happy to be here. It's been such a great trip, so.
Cool. Before you tell us about your song, say hi to Josh, Nadina, and Ari.
Hi. Hi, guys.
Now tell us about your song.
Excuse me. So, this is a song that I had written with a friend named Johnny Black. It wasn't written to be rock. However, when I heard that we got this rock prompt, I just felt like it really fit the prompt. So the song is just about, I was in a relationship and there was a woman that was trying to find her way in, and my boyfriend would let me know. And it's like she thought that maybe he wouldn't give me these little tips and, I don't know, be a good boyfriend. But he very much did. And so I wrote this song called Wolf in the House. And it just has a cool vibe, and I just thought this could be pretty wicked as a rock song. So we tried to change it into a rock song, and here we are.
All right. Okay. When you're ready, let's go.
Sorry, I'm on a bit of a high right now. I'm very excited.
As are we after that intro.
Uh-oh, I have a lot to live up to now. All right, this is Wolf in the House. And I'm going to be doing it with the instrumental. So typically I would do it mic'd up in the studio, but I'm trying to just focus on feelings and being into it and less about being perfect. So this is Wolf in my House. Blowing up his phone, it don't matter if it's day or night. Boy, you're feeling lonely, but doesn't mean that it's alright. I can see you sweating, you're acting so obsessed. Pull yourself together, now you're acting like a mess. Tap me now, turn around, 'cause he ain't gonna leave my side. Okay, I can't sweat. Everybody knows that karma's up. Thinking I don't know like I live in the dark. Baby, it's I know what you said, I don't need it to go ahead and time that you go your own way. Now you're acting like a mess. Let it down, everybody knows that karma's up.
Megan,
Yes,
can you do the first verse and chorus for us a cappella?
sure.
Okay.
Blowing up his phone, it don't matter if it's day or night. I know you're feeling lonely, but doesn't mean that it's alright. I can see you sweating, you're acting so obsessed. Pull yourself together, now you're acting like a mess. Stop now, turn around, 'cause he ain't gonna leave my side. It's okay, though I ain't stressed, 'cause everybody knows that karma's up. Creeping around trying to leave your mark, thinking I don't know like I live in the dark. Hate to break it to you, hate to let you down, but baby, let me know when there's a wolf in the house.
Thank you. I asked you to do that because the track came through loud for us. So there were points that we didn't hear you, but so thanks for doing that. I'm going to throw it over to the judges and go to Ari first.
Why always me first, CJ? Why? I'm
Everybody says that.
I think that um I think that like despite the technical difficulties, it was good, right? I think that there's like a common misconception that we need when we think about like rock and alternative, that we need to go super heavy guitar and that we need to go back to this place that, is like a little nostalgic. I wish that there had been like some more updated sounds in there that kind of brought me back into the future a little bit more. Like when I think about where like the current state of rock and like where it really sits, right? It's really leaning into like this hyper pop lane, which is really cool and it's super electronic and like so I wish that it had some more of those elements. However, I think overall your song structure was really good. I think that there is some top line stuff where it could have maybe been a little bit more creative. And maybe you could have said some things in different ways that I had never heard them before, but I think that the sentiment was there. I think you have an incredible voice. I think that your performances are always really, really strong. And I think you have something really cool, sis.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
That was all really good feedback. Thank you so much.
And Nadina.
So funny about that, there was a wolf in the house, like at the last weekend where I went, because some girl sat right beside my husband. From the first look, I was like, okay, I just knew her energy. So I should have been like, Brent, there's a wolf in the house. So I'm totally gonna use that now. Totally relatable. What I love about you is that you know your sound. A lot of artists take a long time to figure out their sound and their voice and where their voice takes them. So I feel like that's your strength. Anytime that, all the times that I'd seen you perform, like I'm not on here all the time, but the times that I have, I love it. I can tell that you know your sound, you know what you're capable of. And you can tell you do push your limits to like you're like you said, you're always wanting to learn. So I actually loved it. I felt like the song was really relatable and the delivery was really good. So I loved it.
Thank you so much.
Josh.
It's funny. My wife and I were chatting last night about probably the only thing I ever did wrong in the 7 years or so that we've been together, and it involved a wolf in the house. And it's always nice when and nothing happened, to be clear, but it could have. And so it's always nice when as a songwriter another songwriter comes up with an idea and you go, oh, I wish I'd come up with that. So kudos there. Really compelling concept. Unfortunately, this is my genre and I'm going to be probably extra critical this week. And production wise, I tend to sort of agree with Ari. It doesn't need to have that sort of stereotypical distorted guitar, just because there's the word rock in the genre. And I know people are trying to fit a brief, so it's a bit tricky and you don't get a lot of time. But this was a little bit leaning more towards the 12-bar blues sort of rock and roll than alternative rock for me. And so I probably would have approached it a little bit different, but the song underneath it, really pretty strong. I would suggest though, when looking at the top line for that chorus, maybe stepping it up a little bit. If you look at just the notes and if you were to write the notes out, it doesn't really jump up. So there's no dynamic in the movement of the melody there. But again, concept strong, structure pretty good. So just some work on the top line and maybe come at the production. I know you said you had a previous angle before you sort of took it down this rock route.
Yeah.
Maybe go back down the previous angle. We haven't heard it, but stick with what felt right originally and what comes from the heart.
Thank you.
For sure.
I'm gonna agree with my colleagues and say the concept is great. I've dated the wolf in the house.
You've dated the wolf in the house?
Oh yeah.
Oh, he has.
Oh my God.
As a concept, it's very visually appealing. You can see red eyes in the wolf. You can see blood around the mouth. And I really appreciate a good visual when it comes to songwriting. I also agree about the production. I'm not going to say a whole lot about it because I'm thinking more about the lyric. But Josh was spot on that there's a traditional mindset about what rock needs to be, and it doesn't necessarily have to be that. But I really do love the concept
Thank
for the
you.
song. That's really, really cool.
Thank you so much.
All right, Megan, we'll see you in a bit.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for all the feedback.
When I did hear the production art, sorry, no, Josh, I did have because I heard the songs like you before. I did have it. I was like, the song needs to go up somewhere.
Yeah.
Like you said,
Yeah.
not top line. Yeah.
Yeah.
The dynamic of it kind of got lost in the thought process of what the production was gonna sound
Yeah,
like, and
I
I don't
think
think it did the lyric justice at all.
Mhm, mhm.
I pulled up the lyrics because I couldn't hear her.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like, I don't know, it just felt really dated. And
Yeah.
I think like this is hard, right? Because if you don't live in this space and you aren't like dedicated to this space, because it has become such a niche space, even though like we're moving back into this, right? But like, I think from a commercial standpoint, but like, I don't know, it just felt a little try-hardy to me.
Yeah. And I mean on the independent side, and purely on the independent side, I tend to go with the philosophy of try everything, know what you're really good at, but then
Sure.
try other stuff. And I really think she did try to do this well. And while we really shouldn't, I think this is a case where we are really caught on the production. I mean, there was the technical issue, and then we couldn't really hear it. But this particular prompt is interesting because it's meant to show the versatility of this top four
Right.
and how they can take something they've done and almost remix it in a sense,
Yeah.
you know? We've got Justin coming in next. If he's here, let's go. And it populates with 1.
Hello, how's it going?
Hey, bud.
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Good. Very good.
Good.
You know Josh, you know Ari, you know Nadina.
Yep.
Let's jump to you telling us about the song.
Absolutely. So I submitted a song this week, and I'm going to be performing for you shortly, called "Without You." It's a song I wrote with fellow ex-contestant JSJ, but we wrote it prior to this season of the shot beginning and outside of the context of the competition. Originally, it was an island pop tune, but I adjusted the arrangement to make it an alternative rock, fit within the alternative rock genre, and you can hear that in the recording. And this song is about having an overwhelming desire for introversion and solitude after a one-night stand. The main character spends the duration of the song trying to politely urge his lover to leave. And this is the clean acoustic version.
So basically, this is the theme song for my and Josh's relationship.
Oh, okay.
Me politely trying to encourage Josh to leave, but he sticks around.
Yeah.
I can't quite seem to shake the son of a bitch.
Right.
CJ
Except
would
maybe,
sleep.
yeah.
He'd sleep the night. He'd sleep the night, and he'd want his cornflakes. I couldn't get him to leave. It was very annoying.
Okay. Well, I don't need to know the specifics of your relationship, guys. But, you know,
It's fine.
that's
That-
fine.
that-
Well,
We're
yeah.
covering it in the shot uncovered. It's a
Yeah, it's a very torrid affair. It's going to be like a Crave special under the
I love it.
crime documentary category.
In the premium. Yeah, the premium version for sure.
Right, right.
Okay.
When you're ready, go for it.
Sure. 2, 3. Can I call you an Uber? Or is that too forward? Maybe a glass of water. I think you might need it, 'cause I had a great time, and I hope you had one too. We both know you had a few, but it's time we rendezvous too. door, we should probably snag your shoes. Grab your coat, let me put it on you. I think that we should do this again, but right now I need my bed without you in it. I can't let go of this feeling of being alone. It's 3:30 and I didn't want to seem so damn hurtful, but I want my bed without you in it, without you in it, yeah. I think I see your Uber. It's waiting at the end of the drive. Thanks for coming over. Don't wanna waste any more of your time. This happened all of a sudden, and to be honest, my DMs are flooding with people who just want a taste of this loving. So don't rain on my parade. We should be heading to the back door. Go and snag your shoes, grab your coat, let me put it on you. I'm calling out in SOS, cause right now I need my bed without you in it. I can't let go of this feeling of being alone. It's 3:30 and I didn't want to seem so damn hurtful, but I want my bed without you in it, without you in it, yeah. Baby, you're cute without the E. I think it's time I hopped in the sheets without you in 'em, without you in 'em, yeah. A, B, C, D, E, forget you, it's time to get out of my room, so I'll be without you in it, without you in it, yeah. I can't let go of this feeling of being alone. It's 3:30 and I didn't want to seem so damn hurtful, but I want my bed without you in it, without you in it, yeah. Thank you.
Well, I will again declare my conflict of interest here. I'll throw it over to Nadina.
I could have used this song like years ago, but that was before Uber existed. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Really clever title, because when you say without you, most of the time people think like I can't live without you, and so I like the idea. To me, sorry, I'm just laughing at the whole concept of it. It's just
That's
so
okay.
straightforward, but hey, I like the lyrics a lot more. I feel like this was more of that painting that picture. Remember last time I was telling you, I just kind of wanted to see the whole picture. So to me, that totally worked. Super catchy. I was also singing it in my head after. So I liked it. I'll leave it to the other guys for more of the genre kind of specification strengths.
Josh?
Yeah, you've got such a good voice and you're such a competent performer. The concept of the track's great. I think everyone acknowledges that. Where I had some issues with the song itself, I'm not a big fan of super literal lyrics. I think you can sprinkle them in little clever places, like, the Uber line to open the song's actually really clever. But it's at certain points it got so literal, like I open my phone, there's a lot of DM. It's like you're telling us rather than allowing us to imagine it. And it's a small difference, but it's an important distinction. So it's just and that's a taste thing as well. So I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but that's the feedback that I have on the track itself. But I think you hit the brief. I mean, rock and alternative rock really is crossing over into pop land a little bit at the moment, and I love that. And this was on the side of pop more, but I don't give a crap. It was good for me, and it ticked the box in that respect. So well done.
It was good for him, and now he wants you to leave. Ari.
I think Josh kind of said everything that I have to say. It was definitely more pop leaning, but that's where shit lives right now. Which I think is great. I really like that line, "You're cute without the E."
Thank you.
I started to giggle. I wasn't laughing at your performance. I was just laughing at that line. Like it got a little stuck. It reminded, and I think that you were clever in the bridge there. You kind of took from like that Gale song. There were some moments in it that like when I'm thinking about marketing a record, like I could see, okay, like this could work on TikTok. But I'm with Josh, like it was a little too literal for me. There wasn't much room for imagination. Like I want to be able to imagine why you don't want her in your bed, right? Like I want to be able to relate to a time where maybe I didn't want somebody in my bed and you didn't leave that room for self-discovery.
Sure.
Music can get preachy and you have to be careful with that. And when you start to take a stroll in Literal Park, it can become a little bit difficult and you pigeonhole yourself a little bit. So just be careful of that. But I think you hit the brief and you're great.
Thank you.
You know that. So good work, bud.
Awesome. Okay, guys. Well, good luck with the rest of your day. We'll see you later.
You know, when he started, I was like, oh, this is kind of sublimey.
That's
Right. Well, because Justin does that tropical kind of like vibey white boy reggae thing. Pretty, it's just kind of what he does. But then it didn't, and I think that's the other thing is like it was a little unfocused. I think that like if he had stayed in that pocket, that alternative, more kind of sublime type pocket and carried it through, but it was like we started there and then all of a sudden it was like a bare MGK record, right? And I was like, wait, is this like some type of like failed updated All-American Rejects? Like where am I don't quite know where I'm living.
I felt like I was in a country song based on how literal it was. Well, country music,
yeah, you're right about that.
It's very literal to me anyway.
Yeah.
And I thought the trajectory of the lyric, and I agree that it was very literal. There was no room for, I love the term self-exploration, self-discovery, the walk through Literal Park, as Ari said. I don't know if I was walking through a park or the Grand Canyon on that one. And how literal, it ran so deep into the literal. Nadina.
Do you remember? No, sorry. I was exactly going to talk about what you said. I don't want to say it again because I don't want to feel like he was picking on me. But last week, do you remember what I told him? I said, how we write the song matters more than what we write. Right. And so it was because the other one I told him was really literal. This one, he even got better than the last one. So it wasn't as he improved on that one. But I totally agree with you on that. It's like you got to just like leave a lot to the imagination. You don't want to just spell it out. Right. So I agree with you on that.
All right. Up next, we've got Tasha. Let's go. I'm going to jump right to it so you can take over the mic. You know Josh, Ari, and Nadina. Tasha, tell us about the song.
Yeah, so this song is called Light or Dark. And I wrote it actually a little while ago, and I've been rewriting it since we got the challenge to kind of fit that indie alt rock thing a little better. And basically, it's kind of about taking a chance on love. It's about gambling. It's about this, like, do you choose love or hate? Do you choose to leave or stay? And it's kind of about, this is early in my husband and I's relationship. We were dating. We were apart for a co-op or whatever. And we had no tools to actually be able to communicate and solve problems and not have arguments like we were having. So this was kind of really early on, me being like, do I put more effort into this relationship or do I stay? Are you going to commit more or are you going to leave? And that's what it's about, light or dark.
That's the definition of mine and Ari's relationship. Wow, they're really nailing me in my relationship with judges today. Hopefully Kevin touches on me and Nadina on the next song, because I feel like my whole life is being put out on display. It's all about me today. Tasha, when you're ready, go for it.
All right.
Always worried that you used to me, so a play relationship roulette with our hearts. This fighting's getting on now, got me wishing I could pipe down, but this fever's just too hot. I'm loading up the chimney now. It's time for me to choose. Do I stay or do I shoot? Light or dark, love or hate. Bet your heart to walk away, 'cause I'm raising the stakes. Light or dark, love or hate. If you love me like you say, will you gamble everything? Light or dark. Got so used to the dark, it was hard to keep track. How many days had passed since I'd seen you last? Maybe I dreamed of this love, I'm too weak for this love. Shaking hands, commit to chance, and you got nowhere to run. How, light or dark, love or hate. Bet your heart to walk away, 'cause I'm raising the stakes. Light or dark, love or hate. If you love me like you say, will you gamble everything? Light or dark. And the wheel keeps spinning as you place your bet. Just pull the trigger and baby, fate will choose the rest. Light or dark, love or hate. Bet your heart to walk away, 'cause I'm raising the stakes. Light or dark, love or hate. If you love me like you say, will you gamble everything? Light or dark. Light or dark.
Thank you.
I will say that that's definitely my and Ari's relationship. I'm the light one though. Ari's very much in the dark. And I'll let you rebuttal. You go ahead, Ari.
I'm dying. I really liked your performance. It was like, it was a little Bishop Briggsy, and I'm like a big Bishop Briggs fan. Which I loved. I think the concept of the song is really, really cool. I did get a little lost in the top line. I think that you missed a couple opportunities. And I think that your tag could have been a little bit stronger.
Well done. You know, I had a chance to hear the recording before the performance, and today, because it really is about genre, I think that's more of a consideration than normal. I think the performance you just gave then was like 10 times better than the recording, and I really mean that. Like, it's, I don't know how you have your setup there, if you've got like a preamp or something going. No, interesting. Okay, well, whatever. The rawness is what gave it the rock thing. So if we think about what is indie rock, a part of indie rock is capturing things in the room. It's the room sound. That's what sets it apart from just straight up pop. The genre, if you take that away and you take the production out and we think about what the song is that you wrote, it fits somewhere a little bit different. I wouldn't quite use alt rock, but I worked on a project like that, and we were never able to pitch it to anyone because we didn't know how to describe the thing. So it's interesting. I like it. I think there are a few little bits in the top line that were a bit wordy, like shoehorning a little bit, some phrases, but that's okay. That just needs some therapy, you know, like you just some massaging rather. But yeah, I think it was like 90% of the way there. And for me, it was probably the song I've enjoyed the most today, at least what we've listened to. So yeah, well done.
Thank you very much.
All right, now let's go back to Ari.
Ari, mongoose. I live with a mongoose. I agree with everything Josh said. I think, and this has kind of been my feedback across the board today, is like I'm not feeling anything progressive about these songs, and I think we're falling back into a production space. Like that felt like a blues record to me, like a really like, or maybe more of a progressive country record than it did an alternative record even. But I loved your performance. I did not listen to the recording, so I'm glad I got to hear this because your performance was great. So keep going, girlfriend.
Thank you.
Dina?
I agree with both Ari and Josh. With Josh too, I heard the performance and he's right. This one was like very authentic. Like I could feel it in the way you were playing with your voice, but also like I feel like you also know your voice, like you know your sound, you know how to play with your voice, when to play with it, and just, you know what I mean, it felt great. So I really like the performance of it. I always feel like with your stories, that you take me through your experiences, you know, either I relate to it or I'm kind of watching and I feel like I'm experiencing it that way. So I like that type of storytelling that you say, like how you do it and how you deliver it. It's just maybe some words here and there, but it's like really not like the majority of it is really good. So, I mean, there's always something you could always tweak, you know what I mean? But I loved it.
Thank you.
Tasha, what I really wanted and what I was thinking as you were performing was I was thinking Sheryl Crow, and then it kind of went off a little bit, and then there'd be a little bit of Sheryl Crow. And I mean in the storytelling. To me, and the other judges may not agree with me, to me, now in 2022, I would kind of think of Sheryl Crow as being alt rock. When I think I heard her lyric and the instrumentation behind her song. I also really love the concept, obviously because I made light of it at the onset, and Ari didn't take the bait. But I think that it was really well suited to your voice. I think artists can struggle sometimes, and that's why the pitch and sync world exists, is so artists can take something they've written and give it to somebody else who would sing it better because it doesn't suit their voice, but that song really does. I really enjoyed that a lot, and thank you for that.
Thank you for all the feedback. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you in a bit. Well, I did not expect that.
What were you expecting?
I'm not sure, but I wasn't expecting Tasha to dive in as much as she did. I think that was, if my memory is right, her most vulnerable performance because of the background she gave about her and her husband. And I'm torn about it.
I think it was the best one all day.
Yeah.
You do? Did you say?
I think it's the best one we've heard. I
agree. Yeah.
I don't think it's great.
No, I think in general, yeah, there's been no one's hit the mark no one's hit the brief at all yet. We've got
Kevin's here, so bring him in. Kevin.
CJ.
You know Josh, Nadina, and Ari. Jumping straight to it, tell us about your alt rock song.
Yes. So for this week, I wrote a song called Alone in My Bed. This song is really about a time in my life where I was sleeping around to make myself feel better, to make myself feel stronger, to feel powerful. And a lot of that comes from, there was a real sadness in me that I also used as my power at this time. So Alone in My Bed is a song that's kind of like my power song from my early 20s. And I really think a lot of people are going to resonate with these lyrics, and I hope you enjoy it.
Not quite our song, Nadina, but close enough. Kevin, when you're ready, go for it.
Let's do it. Can you do me a favor? If you're willing to give it a try, I need you to break a promise. 'Cause I need to hear a lie. Tell me it's forever. Tell me that you love me. You don't have to mean it. You just have to want me. Let me see the light behind your eyes. Can you promise that you'll leave me? 'Cause I know I'm gonna love you tonight. Can you promise that tomorrow you won't call me and ask for one more time? 'Cause I need love. I don't need a lover past tonight. 'Cause I wanna be alone in my bed for the rest of my life. I don't need to know your intentions. I don't need a husband. I don't need a boyfriend. I just want a good time. Then I want it to end. Let me see the light behind my eyes. Can you promise that you'll leave me? 'Cause I know you're gonna love me tonight. Can you promise tomorrow you won't call me and ask for one more time? 'Cause I need a love. I don't need a lover past tonight. 'Cause I wanna be alone in my bed for the rest of my life. I can't fall in love with you. I can't fall in love with you. There's nothing I can do. 'Cause I made a promise to me. Can you promise that you'll leave me? 'Cause I know I'm gonna love you tonight. Can you promise that tomorrow when I call you, you won't ask for one more time? 'Cause I've been hurt before and I don't wanna cry another night. So I'm gonna be alone in my bed for the rest of my life. Thank you.
Kevin.
Hi.
Hi. Josh and I were talking backstage, and we wondered if the track was out of sync with your voice. It seemed like it might have been, but then Josh, what do you think?
No, I think what happens is when it runs the computer audio, I know this, I don't think, it's sending it at a different bit rate, and then your microphone's coming in, and it's, Zoom wasn't designed to meld the two things together in real time. And so we heard you quite a significant number of cents behind the track. And so it's okay. Like, I was still able to get a good idea of the track, but we had to work quite hard to imagine what it would sound like in time. But I mean, we can always consider the recording as well when it comes time to make a decision. Do we want to jump straight into feedback?
Yeah, go for it.
Great. So this is interesting to me because I think it had all the elements. It sort of had a bit more of modern production, which is something we've missed today. And so I enjoyed that, but the chords themselves, a little too dramatic or operatic for this genre probably. And I'm just viewing this through the lens of this genre, although it's quite a broad genre. So yeah, I'm torn. There was a lot to like about it. But as a whole package, do I see that being, shared on playlists and stuff? Unfortunately, I do not. That's kind of how I feel about it. And I know that's not the most helpful advice, but you're talented, you're talented. you were able to pull these pieces together. I just think the sum of the parts wasn't quite there today, and that's despite the technical issues that we had there with Zoom. But yeah, that's my feedback today.
Okay, thank you.
Nadina.
Hey. So I feel like whenever you sing, you always you step into this other kind of persona. It's like you, and then all of a sudden you're that performer, which is great, right? Because you kind of get into the zone, and like you command the attention of the listener. So I like that. I love your voice. You know, yeah, just like Josh was saying, but I feel like all across the board today, I just feel like everyone is confident, like with their sound, what they're capable of doing, but maybe this genre is a challenge to kind of fit into. So other than that, I love your voice. I love the performance. I did like the melodic flows within it. So that I liked.
Thank you. Thank you.
AB.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi.
I agree with Josh that it had one thing that we've been missing all day, which is more modern production, which is like super necessary.
Where?
You won there. It felt like musical theater to me though. And I think it's hard, right? Think about like, sorry, I'm an A&R person, right? So like, I'm always like making comparisons in my head because I'm trying to figure out how I can sell something. And like, the only thing that I could is reminded me kind of like early Evanescence in a way, like, because that was like, it was very theatrical, right? But I think that because of how theatrical it was, it kind of took me out of it a little bit, right? But I like that you didn't revert back to, you know, Leonard Skinner and the Eagles, and that we weren't living in that land, and you weren't scared to take some chances with the production. Same thing, it was kind of hard to hear. I'm gonna have to go back and listen. But despite it all, man, you did good. Keep going.
Thank you.
This was a tough one. This was a really, really tough one.
I mean, as for me, I love writing music that kind of hits all different types of genres. And this was kind of this was a new one for me. And my favorite part of the genre is the word alternative. So I loved the idea of, in this genre, it started by breaking genre. So there's a way to find anything that was the inspiration for me, was how do I make my alternative rock song? So thank you.
You won in that respect.
You did.
You did.
Kevin, you took my feedback out of my mouth. That I intended to come to your defense that way, but you defended yourself exactly the way that I was going to, by saying that alternative is alternative. We said it earlier that it doesn't always fit in one particular category, and that's what makes it alternative. I think there's an argument there for that. Whether it's a strong argument or not, to me, is irrelevant. Still an argument. You are who you are, and you do as you do, and you took this prompt, and I think you took your best jab at it. I agree with Josh. Oh, I hate the fact that we all seem to say that all the time.
I know, it's really fucking awful, right?
It actually makes me sick to my stomach. It's like I just ate Vegemite. I think that you did take your best run, that the production and the thought behind the vocal could be stronger. I'm not even thinking of it as an alt rock song. I think just in general, and I'm sure that if you were to do that song within a different context, it likely wouldn't have necessarily that rocky vibe to it, right? It would be more within your lane. But you gave yourself a great defense. So I appreciate that.
Can I actually just add one thing? I actually
No.
really like when it came back to the stripped back section with just the acoustic guitar and the top line being sung a little bit more gently. I actually think that was one of my favorite, most enjoyable, if not strongest parts of the song. So just wanted to add that in.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Once again, I agree with Josh here. His head is literally going to leave his fucking body now.
Somebody get me a bucket.
That and I agree with you too, Josh. The ending acoustic part is what came first of the song, and it was this sad melody that came out of me, and I thought, well, I don't want to. Usually, songs will start with the sad, and then you gain your power, and so I wanted this song to be. Well, my power came from hiding the vulnerable part, hiding the sadness. So I wanted that to be the part that comes out at the end. Yeah, so that's just me.
This was a really tough prompt.
It's really not though.
No, for them, I think it.
For them,
it was. Yeah.
Because this is, I mean, maybe Ari and I are both biased a little bit, like with doing A&R roles and listening to so much music every day, but I hear good alt rock every day, every single day. And it's not this group, unfortunately, just didn't hit the mark when it came to the brief.
And that's what I mean, I think it was tough for them to conceptualize what, never mind alt rock, just alternative in general. They each had elements that were them and could be defined as alternative, never mind the rock part. I don't think any of them really nailed the rock.
But that's what's so crazy to me is that none of them, they're all alternative artists, but they don't understand that yet themselves. There's not a single one of these kids that is left. I'm aging myself. I am a kid too, damn it. But there's not a single one of them that is a mainstream top 40 artist.
Mm-hmm.
There's not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there is not a single one of them does straight ahead pop. So like,
if one of them had just focused on nailing a song today, they would have won today.
But everybody was so focused on drums and production that there wasn't a single good record.
Yeah, anytime you hear a tom and then a da-dun, it's like, oh fuck. Maybe the genre should have just been alternative, or maybe it should have just been song.
Well, we are going to have an interesting conversation because we do have to pick a favorite out of the lot. And we have to pick a bottom two. And one of those two will not make it into the top three. We're going to have that conversation in just a second.
Hey artists, I hope you enjoyed a little bit of rock and roll today. Kevin, let's chat. How do you think you did today?
I had a great time today. Today was a lot of fun. I love my song. I love getting performed for these judges. I love being here every week. And overall, I love what I heard, and I'm excited for my song to keep growing.
And Justin, how difficult was it to pick a song for this task, knowing it would be the last before the finale?
It was pretty challenging, to be honest. There was a lot at stake, obviously, so I had to choose very, very wisely. I had another song that I had originally slated for this task, but learned last minute that it would be an alternative rock theme, so I had to choose another song. But I think I did choose wisely, and I think it was well received. So.
Okay, well, over to the judges. Let's get some feedback. Ari, we'll start with you. What did you think of the artist's interpretation of today's task?
I thought that everybody overthought it a little bit. I think that instead of just being, oh my God, sorry guys. I think that instead of just being honest and really trying to write the best song, everybody tried to kind of fit into a bit of a box. And I think that ultimately, while all of you are so talented, you did yourselves like a really big disservice. That sometimes the best thing to do is to go off brief a little bit. A good song is a good song. A good song can live anywhere. Instead of trying to sound like something or sound like somebody or sound like what you think it should sound like, you should continue to just try to sound like yourself.
That's a good piece of advice. Nadina, any final advice for the artists as we head into the finale week next week?
I think Ari nailed it. Be yourself, right? Be authentic, and just remember, because remember the advice and the feedback that was given to you from going through this process. And if you're choosing that song to perform next week, were there any changes or feedback that was given from the judges that they advised you on that you need to maybe put into that track to better it for that final performance? And just keep believing in yourself and have fun. Have fun. Don't let it be too serious. Have fun.
Speaking of fun, CJ, which of today's songs was the judge's favorite?
That elevated quickly.
Well, because normally you deliver the bad news, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
that today,
I've
I'm
had
gonna
a
let
good
you
balance.
do the right.
Good balance this season, yeah. You know, not only do we judges think that this was the most difficult task of the season, in that you were given a very specific detail in the alt rock sense. We also found it to be the most difficult to judge. So when it comes down to our decision, the criteria that we used was who came the closest to hitting the mark. And I think that this might have been the longest, if not it's the second longest, deliberation of the season. It felt like an eternity to me. So with that in mind, the artist that has the favorite song today is CJ's trademark long dramatic pause. Tasha.
Thank you. I was not expecting that, not gonna lie. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Tasha. So how does it feel to know you are officially in the finale?
It feels fantastic because I can take a deep breath and relax now after this. I've been super stressed, and yeah, I'm really happy to know I'm in the finale. I'm happy that the journey's not over yet.
And what's really cool is not only did you make it to the finale, but you're also able to work with Indie 101.5 for the chance to have your song played on the air. So congratulations, it's amazing.
Woo, thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, Josh, I'm sorry, I'm going to you, the person that needs to deliver the bad news. Please tell us which of our artist journeys are coming up just short of the finale, and who will be leaving the shot Canada versus the US tonight.
Why you have to make me the bad guy for? That's not
I'm
fair.
sorry.
Oh, well. Well, yeah, look, as everyone said, today was tricky. The deliberation was long. We had to factor in the fact that we don't think everyone quite hit the brief. And then, you know, do we judge the songs, or do we judge it based on whether it hit the brief or not, or somewhere a bit of a mix? And I won't drag it out. So unfortunately, the person in the bottom position today is Megan. And I want to explain, because it's important. Obviously you guys didn't see her performance, but there were some technical issues at the start, and our decision had no bearing on the decision whatsoever. we've already gone over it, but it just didn't quite hit the mark. And it's not a reflection of you as a songwriter or a performer, because you're up there in our favorites, right? You truly are. It just, when you look at it through the lens of the brief, it wasn't quite there, and we had to make a decision. So for those reasons, unfortunately, this is your last appearance on this season of The Shot.
Okay. Well, it's been a lot of fun. I'm kind of sad,
Me too.
but it's okay.
And we really
It's not
appreciate.
I'm totally at peace with not being a part of it. I just feel really grateful. I do. I'm so grateful that I made new friends. I'm like a happy crier too, okay? So I'm not crying because I'm sad that it's over. I just feel like I grew so much, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity. So thank you guys. And I love all of you. And
Love you,
I wish
Megan.
you all the best.
Love you, Megan.
It's been so much fun. And I promise I'm totally at peace with this, because these 3 artists that are going to the finale are incredible, and they deserve to be there more than anyone. So I'm just so grateful that I got to be a part of this with all of you.
Love you, Megan.
I have no words, Megan. That was so well said, and we are going to miss you terribly, and we will definitely be following your career and watching all the great things you do in the future. So thank you
So much, and I will be watching and cheering you guys on. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a blessed day.
You're a superstar, Megan. I adore you. I love
I
you.
adore all of you. And okay, the tears are gone now. I swear I'm not depressed about this. I'm totally at peace with it. I really am. I'm so grateful that I got to do this. So thank you, CJ and Nadina and Melanie and Josh and Tasha and Karen and Justin and Ari. Thank you, Ari, too. I know you guys are going to kill this, and I'm just so excited for all of you. I'm cheering you on.
Thanks so much, Megan.
Bye, guys. Thanks
Much
for
love.
everything.
Thanks, Megan.